Hi Libra, welcome to your April 2023 Astro-Tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Libra, this is for you. Although I do advise from here on in when you're watching your monthlies, because they are going to be Astro-Tarot scopes, I advise you to watch your ascendant sign first. And if you're only going to watch one, you kind of say to yourself, just promise I'm just going to watch one, then make sure it's your ascendant. It's usually the most accurate, and because I'm incorporating a lot more astrology here, it's likely to really speak more to you on a day-to-day level. For those of you that are my hardcore ride or dies, I would say check out all three. All right, with that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to pop these here. So before we start, the first transit that I want to look at here for you guys over the course of April of 2023, the first one is the conjunction between Mercury and the North Node, right? So it's not a particularly rare transit. It does happen once a year, but I really feel like this one is worth mentioning, right? Because what this means is there's going to be a fated communication of some sort. So Mercury, communication, phone calls, text messages, emails, etc. The North Node is a point of destiny, a fated energy. It usually represents things that are driving, or should I say things that are new in our lives, or things that we're moving towards in a big way. So for you, this Mercury conjunct the North Node in the sign of Taurus is happening in your 8th house, right? So this really, in essence, I feel for you guys is going to bring potentially an energy that will move things along, because it's happening in your 8th house and Mercury rules your 9th house and your 12th house. This could be, so one way that this could show up for you is this could be a message that comes in that has a legal slant to it. So maybe it comes through an old study buddy, maybe somebody that you have connected with through some kind of learning and or spiritual practice, because the 9th house is all about spiritual practices, and because Mercury is the ruler of your 9th house, this does suggest that you could be having messages that have that kind of energy behind them. As it's the 8th house, it could also be a lucrative energy. So that's, remember, the 8th house is other people's money. It's the taboo, it's death, taxes, all of the things that we kind of hold, it's because it can be like, it's quite a heavy house, but it's also a very packed house. So this is like our deep psychological makeup. It's other people's money, sex, taboo. It's a very primal house. And the fact that you're having messages that come attached to that, because the 8th house is other people's money. So this could be something about your taxes. It could be something about an inheritance for a select few of you, especially because you've got this energy that rules the 9th and the 12th. I wonder if this is about an inheritance, actually. So maybe you get news about a development on somebody's estate, especially if something hasn't been moving. This could be where you see it kind of start to take shape in some regard. If there's and then I've put here as well, it could also bring special blessings, or at least communications that seem kind of like a message from heaven in some regard. So that could be really nice for you. So your messages for this are the High Priestess. Wow. Okay, so, this transit's come to play with the Queen of Swords, okay, and the Ace of Swords. So there's a few ways that we could look at this. Hopefully that's clearer for you. I've been playing around with some things in the background so you guys can see the cards better, because I know you're really enjoying this format and I too am enjoying it. So it's a win-win. Now, the High Priestess is hidden things revealed. The 8th house is an occult house. It has a lot to do with spirituality, what I like to call the spiritual sciences, tarot, astrology, numerology, etc. Because you've got the High Priestess there with the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is usually an air sign woman, Aquarius, Gemini or Libra. In this day and age, the queens can represent guys, and the kings can represent women. There's all of that. Interestingly enough, a lot of the time actually queens will show up as gay men. I've seen that a lot. I've seen it for lesbians as well, where their king energy comes up a lot. But I've also seen kings come up for what I call boss ass chicks. You know, women that have got it together, right? You know, they're bossing it in life in some way, shape, or form. Now, because you are a Libra, the Queen of Swords actually represents the sign of Libra. So you come up in your own spread here very strong. So whatever this message is that's coming through Mercury conjunct the North Node in your 8th house of Taurus, it will have a contractual element to it. That's the Ace of Swords. But it's also your intuition, your mind, some mental inclination, because Mercury is our thought, it's our speech, it's our thought processes as well. You are having potentially some kind of psychic revelation here as well. That's another thing that I hadn't actually mentioned with this, because the 8th house, the 4th, the 8th, and the 12th are all three of them are very psychic energies or very psychic spaces in the chart in different kinds of ways. But nonetheless, this could be a powerful psychic message that comes in for you. On another level, like if you're watching this thinking, well, that's probably not me. This could literally be that you're going to see a psychic. It could be that you're going to have some kind of reading that is very profound at the moment, right? Mercury, messages, speaking, communicating, the High Priestess, psychic, spiritual, right? So this could be some powerful psychic or spiritual message that comes through a session like that in some way, shape, or form. And it could also be a contract, because the 8th house is also other people's money. Mercury rules contracts as well. Ace of Swords is definitely contract, interviews, all manner of things like that. So this could be a really, you know, potentially lucrative but a very powerful realization or message that comes through the psychic and or spiritual realms. So that's very, very exciting. I think so anyway. Then you've got on the 11th of April, Jupiter and the Sun are going to come into a conjunction. Now, this is powerful for so many reasons. Just make sure, yeah, they're all the right way up. This is powerful for so many reasons, right? So for you, this is happening in your 7th house because the Sun and Jupiter are going to conjunct in the sign of Aries. Those cards obviously want out, so I'll leave them at the top. So for you, this is your relationship house, your significant other, your partner, your boyfriend, your husband, your girlfriend, your wife, you know, whoever your significant other is. But the 7th house isn't just partners. It's also open enemies. What are open enemies? You know, that's the old way of saying it. Your open enemies are your competitors. So this could be, right, the Sun is authority figures and illumination and consciousness energy. It's also father and masculine energy. Jupiter is, you know, higher ups, dignitaries, right? Coaches, gurus, you know, teachers, therapists, mentors in some way, shape or form. The fact that these two are coming together, when Jupiter and the Sun connect in any harmonious energy, it's known as like very lucky energy. And so this is through partnerships, collaborations, connections, and potentially contracts, which is what you had for your 8th house message, right? So this could be a powerful, excellent new contract that comes into your life that has a very profound effect for you. Will probably start to show up for you here around. So you'll have the message on the 8th, I reckon, the 6th of April, but you'll start to see it in the real world probably around the 11th and onward. So what I've got for you is this is sexy, it's expansive energy that brings good news via the partner or for your partner potentially. As Jupiter also rules your 8th, not your 8th house, sorry, as Jupiter is in the mix as well, this could be a very sexual and connective time, especially for meeting or connecting to someone through work or your daily errands. So in the spaces and the places that you go like every day, to the gym, to the supermarket, there's a potential to run into somebody in those spaces. As the ruler of your 3rd, Jupiter might also bring communications in that win gifts or big wins in some way, shape or form. Like if you've got anything like a competition that comes up, And you kind of feel like, oh yeah, I'd really like that, go for it, especially around this time, around the 11th. So let's say the 10th, the 11th and the 12th. If there's some kind of competition that comes to your mind or just shows up for you, enter, because you could very well win it, especially if it's got a slant towards like your skills, communications, devices, technology, phones, etc. You know, winning a phone, winning a laptop, all of that stuff. You could win this. You absolutely could. If you're single, be open, because, and especially to fire signs, because there's a chance that larger than life people are coming into your world. And if you're partnered but not, then this could be a time where a partner proposes. So for this, you've got the Judgment card. So this transit is going to bring big change for you, right? The Judgment card is always big change. It comes up with the King of Pentacles. So whoever the King of Pentacles is, Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo, this person, especially with the Judgment card, this is somebody that's going to change your life. Doesn't have to be a significant other or a partner. It could be a collaborator, somebody that you end up working with or alongside. It could be a colleague, it could be a boss, right? All of this is very possible. It does have a lucrative feel to it though, which I absolutely love for you. And then you have the Six of Wands, right? So this is you winning something, because the Six of Wands is a victory card, right? So, and you, hey, listen, you saw me shuffle. The top two cards are the ones that wanted out. I didn't know what the third one was. I actually didn't know what the second one was either. So this could be, you know, like if there's something that comes up around this time, please enter those competitions, those contests, because you could absolutely win at this time. So I'm loving that for you guys. Now, on the same day, but still very worth mentioning, Venus, the lady of love and your ruling planet, is going to be trine to Pluto. So Venus is going to be at 0 degrees of Gemini. Pluto is going to be hanging around at that 0 point of Aquarius, which is a big deal for all of us. Now, Venus is attraction and beauty and harmony and diplomacy and money and resources and wealth and value, right? Pluto is transformation, change, upheaval, intensity, but it's magnetic. So this is an energy of pure magnetism. It's an energy of pure attraction. And for you, this is happening across your 9th house of higher education, of higher philosophies and wisdom. In old world, this was called the House of God. This is the space in the chart where I kind of look at it and I think this is how you connect to the cosmos. This is how you connect to the all that is, right? It's how you speak to that higher, and it's your religion and your philosophies and like your belief systems and structures is the 9th house. But the 9th house is very lucky, it's very visionary and very prophetic. So the fact that you've got Pluto in that space, and Pluto is a magnet, it's attractive, it gets to the depth of things. You could be having some very profound visions or prophecies even coming in at this time. You know, really possible. Now, Pluto in the 9th, it's also fair to say, could bring some kind of legal matter up. But because it's in a trine to Venus, this could be, let's say you've been waiting for a loan and it was held up, and the paperwork and the legalities and this, that and the other, maybe your sale of a house, maybe going to school, whatever the hold up has been on the legal end, this could clear the way for that. And then Venus in your 5th house of pleasure, romance, joy, fun, happiness, right? All of this stuff. Now, I really like this for meeting someone that makes your heart race and gets your mind fired up. This is like sex, mind sex, you know, like where you're connecting to somebody on that sapiosexual kind of, oh, I just want to lick your mind kind of way. just me. And for those of you that are partnered or married, it's a really nice energy because it's very sexual and very sensual. It could see you meeting handsome or pretty strangers that come into your life, very possible, who make your knees go weak. I love this for playful, intellectual fun as well, that has kind of like a serious edge to it. This is kind of like, highbrow humor, you know, somebody that you can joke with at that level where it's kind of, it's beyond most people in the room. So I kind of really like this, actually. I'm kind of jealous. All right, so there's also a new sense of learning and hope for the future, because the ninth house is also higher education, so that could be really nice for you as well. And these energies are attractive and magnetic. So you could be connecting to people that are teachers, coaches, gurus, mentors, or some creative endeavor or project that you set out to kind of work on or in. You know, people might see it or hear it and be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Can you come and teach this? Or can you give a talk on it? Or can you share about this in a forum or whatever? Don't be surprised if you're invited to do something like this. It might also be, for some of you, a really good time to explore your spiritual abilities to manifest wealth. Now, shameless plug, if you haven't been on my Mindset Magic course, it is there. It's actually, you know, at this point, it's cheaper than it's been. It's not going to be this price again. It may very well go up, and there's not going to be another sale on it until probably 2024 now. So if you want to get it, I would do so now. I designed Mindset Magic to take you from a beginner with, you know, total novice of manifestation, to take you right through the whole process, not just to give you a bunch of concepts and ideas and say, oh yeah, happy manifesting. I've given you an actual sequence where you can do it step by step. All right, so for this you have the 9 of Pentacles, beautiful, with the Hanged Man. Sorry, my cards are all jumbled up. I don't know what's going on with those. And the Page of Swords, right? So there's a few ways that we could look at this. The first one, the 9 of Pentacles actually is Venus in Virgo, and it's coupled with the Hanged Man here. The message behind this actually is, where you deny yourself pleasure, it's time that you change that thought process and mindset, right? So where you deny, the Hanged Man, yourself pleasure, you have to change that mindset, the Page of Swords, right? Another way that you could see this as well, because it is Pluto, there's an intense energy here that on the internal levels needs to be worked with and developed so that you can do something with it in actuality. Finally, some of the conversations that show up for you at this time, they will be at a level of conversational communication that you're not used to having, right? So where it is that you've maybe had to dumb things down for certain groups or spaces that you've been a part of, you won't need to do that anymore, which is great, okay? And then finally, all right, and then finally the last transit that I really wanted to look at this month is on the 20th of April. The sun will come into Taurus. It's going to be at that 0 degree of Taurus. And Pluto is going to be sticking around at that 0 degree of Aquarius, right? So what's happening here is the sun and Pluto are having a bit of a dust up, and this is going to be intense. Now remember, with a square, it's an energy that makes you uncomfortable enough to say, I'm not having this experience again, right? It is, and because both of these planets, or the luminary, should I say, the Lord luminary, the sun, is at 0 degrees and Pluto is at 0 degrees. 0 degrees it's a critical degree for sure, but it's a fresh start. This is a brand new energy. And so whatever this is, whatever this square represents, it's a difficult birth. It's a difficult beginning in some way. And this is happening between your 8th house and your 5th house. So maybe this creative endeavor that you start to kind of, you know, that people start being like, wow, you know, this is amazing. Can you teach this? Can you talk about this? Maybe you decide to pursue that and it goes really well for a moment. And then you think, oh, okay, something about this needs to be adjusted. Now, if you're starting to date someone new, an authority figure, the sun, right, could have a bit of a problem or an issue or a challenge with whatever or whoever it is that you bring into your world, or whoever it is that you introduce them to. Maybe they don't agree, maybe they don't like this person, maybe there's a reason behind it. Either which way, your choices are your own, right? A creative project that you're passionate about might be more costly than you thought, very possible. And it might be that an authority figure dampens your creativity in some way. And for those of you that have children, this could be a revelation of some kind. So maybe one of your kids comes to you and tells you a secret, or tells you something that they've been holding on to or hiding, and you're kind of like, okay, I don't know how to, I've got nothing in the storehouse for this, right? So the 5th house, your children, the 8th house, secrets. Just a really crude, sort of hard and fast way of looking at it. So you've got the 8 of Swords with the 8 of Wands. Yeah, look at that. And the Ace of Swords. So 2 8s represents new knowledge. New knowledge, new wisdom, new insight. So something that you're learning here is going to really shift your mind. And that Ace of Swords, that's a truth energy. And so whatever this new knowledge or new information is that comes in, it is a truth. Something is shared with you that kind of makes you go, okay, now I know what that is. Now I can get to the bottom of it. Well, you don't need to, because it's going to be revealed to you, right? So somebody is sharing some new knowledge or information with you that kind of answers a question, if you like. So I know you're probably thinking, what about our sectors, Raf? This is a long video. You can't squeeze that in as well. For that reason, your sectors will be coming in a separate video, just so that I can absolutely fit sort of everything in. All right, so for your first week of the month, you have the Sun card. Look at that, right? So good times with the start of this. I absolutely love it. The first week of the month is bringing good energy, blessings, abundance potentially, but it's also highlighting to you what you are, not so much what you're ready for, but it's highlighting the way for you. So there's like an illumination here, right? New, whatever it is that's coming in, there's an illumination. And then you've got, so I'm going to put money on it. For those of you whose children are of age, it's a pregnancy. Although that Sun square Pluto happens right at the end of the month, like, well, on the 20th of April, I would, just because of this combination of cards, I would put money, it's a pregnancy. So one of your kids is going to come to you and say, my girlfriend's pregnant, or, Mom, I'm pregnant, or whatever it might be. I mean, it's a joyous occasion, the Sun and the Fool, these two. This is like the first half of the month is going to be fun, dynamic, vibrant. For a lot of you, you may very well be traveling in this first half of the month as well. It's very possible. For the third week of the month, you have the Moon card, right? So the Moon card coupled with the Fool, that is, it's the best way to describe this is someone or something from your past that comes around that you don't recognize. And the reason you don't recognize them is because the Fool card is all things new. The Moon card is all things past. So this could be you reconnecting with someone from your past, but you're like, you are a totally different person. Like, it's like, when you meet somebody that you went to school with that was like the school bad person, like bad boy or bad girl, or was like a real bitch, or, just somebody that was really mean. And then when you meet them when they're older and they're really well turned out and they look good, and you're like, wow, like you did a 180, really pulled yourself together. This could very much be that. Look at this. And then you've got the Empress here right next to the Moon. That is, again, a very fertile energy. My money is, this is a pregnancy. That's the big secret. And it may be because this person is younger than you would have liked. There are potentially conversations to have. That third week of the month, things could get a little sticky, and I wonder if that 20th of April point, which is around the third week of the month, that's the thing, right? Because it's the Moon card. So there's something that we don't know, there's something that we're not seeing, there's something that's not quite clear, and then it's revealed. And then that Empress card for the fourth week of the month is a very, very nice energy. You're finishing the month on a real sort of, on a high, if you like. And then for your moons, so on the 6th of April, You have the, sorry, on the 6th of April, you've got the Libra full moon. And for this, you've got the gate 42 and closing. And the message behind this card is the end of a chapter. A full moon is a culmination, a completion, or an ending. And it's also your full moon. This full moon is highlighting you in a very, very powerful way. All right. So it will be interesting to see how this kind of shapes up. And then on the, I believe, sorry, let me just double check to make sure. Ooh, I believe the moon after that is, yes, it's on the 20th of April, the same day that the sun squares Pluto. For this, you've got the gate 26 and greater good. And the message behind this card, I'm not going to go into great detail with the moons because obviously you've got your full moon and new moon reports that you're all enjoying and loving. But yeah, this really does speak to, you know, that new moon, I think, is going to be a time where you are expected to show up for others in some way, shape or form that maybe you kind of feel is a bit of a burden. But that greater good card basically says if you choose to scratch someone else's back, the chances are they will scratch yours, and it can be beneficial for everybody involved. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments, do you love it? Do you loathe it? How do you see this playing out for you? Let me know. It would be great to speak to you there. Take care, and I'll see you soon.